ground control
to Major Tom.
You're floating.
I don't know any of the words. I have no idea. I just, when I do that, I just go,
You just start,
yeah. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know any. I know very few words to songs.
Yeah.
And then when you never hit your, when you're on Spotify, you ever hit that thing and then the lyrics pop up?
Lyrics, yeah.
And you're just like, wait a minute. They're talking about a fish?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. There's like so many popular songs that I still to this day have no idea. I mean, they're iconic songs that I have no idea what the words are, and you just go, huh, and then you actually hear the words enunciated. It's like, oh, I didn't know they're saying that.
You could do a whole show on people who mispronounce or misunderstand song lyrics. Like obviously
misremember,
like the bathroom on the right.
What? The bathroom on the right?
There's a bathroom on the right.
Where's that?
Oh, I thought there was Bad Moon on the right.
No,
exactly. It is Bad Moon on the Rise.
On the Rise.
Yeah.
And someone thinks it's bathroom on the right?
Supposedly.
Isn't it called Bad Moon Rising?
Yeah,
I think so. But don't forget, like when we were younger, right, there were no, I mean, unless you had the album with the lyrics on the sleeve, you just kind of heard a song on the radio,
Yeah, I guess. You know what? I guess that's right? I mean, now, like I said, now you hit Spotify and you get that and stuff. But yeah, there's songs I still sing wrong because I've been singing them wrong for 50 years.
But here's the funny thing. I almost don't want to know. I actually don't want. I actually am happy to know like my version of the song versus like because I actually knew what the real lyrics were. It would kind of take away the.
This is my favorite one, or my most famous one is for my entire life until I think my wife, who's a huge Elton John fan, corrected me. I would say, "Hold me close. I'm tired of dancing."
No, you didn't.
I swear to God. To God.
Okay, all right.
I didn't know it was Tiny. I know the name of the song is Tiny Dancer, but I didn't know it.
What about Tina Turner's song "Private Dancer"? I'm your private dancer.
No, you're not. You're a
strip,
tired dancer.
That's just a strip bar, right? That's a strip bar. Dancer for money.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a song, and I in college, I never heard the song before. This is the way I sing it. I don't know the real words. Dead fish in a cup. Dead fish in a cup. I honestly thought those were the words.
Right.
I have no idea. And we're in college. We're doing this right now, and we're at a party, and I'm screaming. I'm an idiot, right? So I'm drunk as hell, and I'm just like, yeah, dead fish in a cup, dead. And my one buddy stops. He goes, what are you saying? And I'm like, those are the words. And he goes, what kind of words would those be? I'm like, hey man, I don't know,
man. I didn't write the song.
Yeah, I don't know what these drug-addled, I watched The Doors, dude. I don't know if he even knew what was happening.
Well, Jimi Hendrix, he would get so high on stage, and he would have, and he wasn't like the best singer by any stretch of the imagination, but he was always a great guitarist. So no matter how messed up he got, he always hit those chords. But yeah, he became, oblivious, like just mumbling.
So he was singing "Dead Fish in a Cup" too.
He did. He covered it.
Remember the Joker and the Thief? It was the Joker and the Coral Reef. It could be anything.
What? See, it's funny because some things don't make sense to me. Some of those words are just like I know exactly what that is.
There must be some way out of here," said the Joker to the thief. Remember that? Yeah.
Oh, the thief. I thought he said. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought he said priest.
Oh, there you go.
See, we don't really know what he was saying.
Oh my God, I have no idea what's happening at all.
And Janis Joplin, I never understood anything that woman said. I mean, I listen to her, she just screams. I mean, she was good.
Yeah.
She was another member of the 27 Club, by the way.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
I mean, she died at the age of 27.
Oh,
from
did she?
some
Yeah, is that
chicken bone?
crazy?
drug over
Chicken bone?
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You probably weren't on the show for that one when we talked. I don't know if I don't think you were. I don't think you were on the show for that one. Yeah, we were talking music. Wait, weren't you talking music with Mick?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So it was Dave. Okay, Dave. Yeah. So we were talking music with Mick, and then Teddy came up with this thing and Mick confirmed it, so I know it's real. All these people who died at the age of 27.
Interesting.
Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain.
Tupac's still alive, so we know he's fine. Yeah.
Elvis.
Elvis did not die at 27.
He was 42,
Yeah.
but people think he's still alive to this
Did you guys
day.
see that new Elvis movie?
No.
My some friends saw it. They said it was really good.
Yeah.
I haven't.
So there's some big thing about it because I guess Elvis was singing black music or something.
Yeah,
and
he's like a gospel singer.
And they were
Gospel singer.
everybody was all upset about it. And I'm just like, okay, let's do this. It just happened. It's already over. It just happened in the past.
Who's upset about
I
him
don't-
singing gospel music?
Teddy, people are outraged.
Yeah.
It's easy to get outraged. You
that's
get
right.
outraged over a
Well,
movie.
that's,
I forgot.
they wanted to ban him because they thought he was black on the radio. They didn't want to broadcast him on the radio because people thought he was black, and they didn't want to put that on the radio.
Oh man, is
And
that where
back in the day?
is that where In Your Face came from? He's walked in. He's like, "Damn, I'm white, bitches."
Well, didn't they actually? Wasn't he on the Ed Sullivan Show back in the
Yep.
50s when he was doing the hip swirl
They only
thing?
showed him from the hips up,
and they couldn't
supposedly.
show the rest of him because he was so cutting edge at the time that he was obviously a man ahead of his
So
time.
you're saying people would have been mesmerized by his penis?
If I could do an
It's
Ed
like-
Sullivan impersonation, I'd say,
Well,
Elvis, let me be. Keep that pelvis. far
Actually,
from me."
Elvis does rhyme with pelvis, so I mean it makes
Yeah.
kind of perfect sense,
Wait, are we saying that's how the name started, and he just forgot the P part?
Well, the funny thing, who's named Elvis? I mean, he's like the only person.
Elvis
Elvis
Costello.
but other
Yeah.
than those two people, have you ever met anybody in your everyday life named Elvis?
No, but one of my favorite books, the PI his name is Elvis. Elvis something. I don't remember. I read like 10 of those books. They're really good. They're really good. Okay. Teddy, are you ready to get this humping, flaming bag of turds thrown onto a porch started?
He's hyperventilating.
He is. He's
Is there a bag to breathe in?
yeah.
Yeah, Ted, you know what? You can do a bag or a crotch. It's completely up to you, and I don't have any bags.
Ball sock.
Yeah. Teddy, he just
I got
wait
some
a minute.
inspiration
I
now.
just said that he could solve his hyperventilating by breathing into my crotch, and he goes, "Oh," and now he's writing something down. Oh man, you guys are in for such a treat because what comes after when Ted says, "Oh," after I say that, only good things can happen.
I just like changing my voice, pretending I'm somebody else when I give the introduction.
Divine inspiration.
Oh my God, you know what? There's no way God would talk to Ted. There's no way because God would get pissed, be like, "Ted, we talked about this yesterday. I was pretty drunk. I don't remember." I know. We do this every day,
Listen,
Ted.
I did some serious research. I wrote down 3 words on my sheet here, my summary sheet.
That's
so it's the same amount of research that Joe Rogan does.
you don't. Come on, Joe Rogan. No matter what he says, he does research for his show.
No, but it's actually tough because he pretends like he doesn't. He's like, I'm just ad-libbing this. Like I think I actually watched one podcast of Joe Rogan because I wanted to see what allegedly the quote-unquote the winning formula was, and basically said, I don't do any research, I don't do any preparation, I just invite somebody on, I just ask them like an opening intro question, and they just do all the talking and blah, blah, blah.
All right.
And miraculously, he has 11 million listeners per episode. That's amazing.
All right, so if John is smart, the next time we record, he won't tell us. He'll bring in someone who's interesting. He'll talk to them, and we will be out of a job. All right, Teddy, go ahead and get us started.
Hey, everybody. It's the 3 Dates Podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Teddy, and across from me is Maddie Ballgame.
Maddie Ballgame.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. That's what we call the guy we played basketball with, Maddie Ballgame.
And he never passed the ball.
No, he never. He was a black hole. If you, I don't care where you were. If you passed him the ball, he was just like, I gotta shoot. If I don't shoot, I'm gonna die.
Never going to get it back.
Shot. Nope.
There was never a 30-foot fadeaway shot he didn't like.
and then Bike Short Bob. Yeah, we had such a great team. We had the funnest team ever.
Well, I mean, it was pretty low maintenance. I mean, you just pass the ball, you never have to worry about it again.
Yep. Just passing the ball, go rebound, or go back and play defense because you are never going to shoot.
Anyway, to my military right is the one and only Johnny Crotch Rocket.
Oh,
Welcome aboard. Welcome back, Johnny.
isn't that a famous restaurant change? Johnny
Rocket.
Johnny Rockets.
No, it wasn't there. Wasn't
Johnny
there a
Crotch
Johnny
Rocket.
Rockets like in
Yeah.
downtown Chicago? It's called Johnny Rockets.
Yeah, it was like a hamburger place or something, right? Or
No, it's
hot dog place?
it's like a dance club. I think it's
or
long
a dance
gone.
club.
Yeah.
I think it's hot dog hamburger.
I thought
It
it
was
was
on
food.
Division. It was on Division Street. So it was Mother's on Division Street, and then across was Johnny Rockets, which was a bar. I think it had an upstairs, downstairs area.
No crotches?
Well, there's a lot of crotches.
Yeah, we used to go to Mother's. Oh my God, we used to go to Mother's when it was nickel beer night. Yeah, we'd go with we'd drive down there, park on some side street, so we have to pay for parking, and we bring in $4, and we would leave so drunk that we would forget where the car was. We walked around for almost an hour one time at like 2:00 in the morning to find the car, and there's no beeping, there was no nothing.
Right.
It was just what color, dude. And then my favorite thing is he took my buddy's car, same car, his red car. This is how drunk we were. I remember doing this one time like this, dude. Okay, hold on a second. What color is your car? And he goes, It's red. And I'm like, and I did this. Are you sure?
Well, the funny thing about that place, because it's such a heavily congested area, you had to park at least several blocks away. There's nowhere. I mean, it's either a tow zone.
Well, Back in the day, it wasn't
or
quite
the
quite
parking
as bad.
or the parking's just packed. So I mean, you must have had to park like by like almost like Lincoln Park Zoo or somewhere.
I came out of there one time. I was there with some guy from
You were at Mother's?
in Mother's.
I saw you.
Oh,
there.
everybody.
Was that you in the bathroom? I knew it was you.
I just saw your shoes.
It was I was with some guy who was formerly in the Navy that I worked with, and we get in my car. I open up the door, and there was next to us this giant plant box with, and I can't think what they're called. It starts with a P. These giant big flowers.
Can I do it?
Petunias?
Pussy willow?
No.
Not pussy willows? Just
can't-
one more time I'm going to say it. It's you sure it's not pussy willows?
I'm pretty sure. Giant flower, and he took something. There was like a sign or something. And he took it, and he just whacked the flowers, and all of their petals just flew into my car. And I mean, like 1,000 petals in my car.
Did you have? So you were like it was like a wedding when they sprinkled
Yes,
petals,
basically,
and
yeah.
you were walking through.
Oh, man, that's so romantic.
Yeah.
Aw.
You must have had a convertible.
Not romantic, funny, but angry.
Yeah, no. It's, you know what? It's funny when I think about it. Like,
Flowers stink.
I see people when they're drunk doing stupid stuff, right? And you know, I'm 55 years old, so I was like, oh, you stupid kids. And then I think back, here's what you should have done, okay, kids? This would have made it a lot more fun. Even though you vandalized this, you could have done it so much better with more flair and more panache. Yeah, it's like, oh man, you know, I got to stop because I don't want to be angry old guy, right? I mean, like, oh, that kid is so loud, and he's over there, and he's with a girl, and he's touching her boob, and I'm offended, and I'm just like, because I want to be touching her boob too, you know.
Actually, it's sort of funny. So I was in the supermarket earlier this week, and it's a supermarket it's like a Polish supermarket with like, and most of the clientele there are like older Polish, conservative people, but for some reason they play this like hardcore like rap music like at full blast. It's just like the music they play. You know how you have the background music?
Right.
The music they play is not commensurate with the clientele there. And I almost want to go to the manager and say, hey, you know what? I'm just curious. Do you understand what's going on here? I mean, it's like they're playing like Snoop Dogg, and this is like 8 a.m. on a Sunday.
It's like it doesn't bother me,
Yeah.
but I'm sure these Polish people don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it's just, and it's loud. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like in your eardrum loud. Like you're at a nightclub. It's like you're in a nightclub. Back in the 90s or something.
So we were at a golf course today.
It's weird.
And it's it's just a bunch of old white guys. That's all it is, right? And they same thing. So they were just over kind of off to the side, but still pretty loud, They're just jamming like hardcore rap. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking there is nobody here except me who likes this. And of course, one of the guys were Jimmy, who was on the show. Jimmy goes, what kind of shitty music is this? And I go, well, you know what? I'm pretty sure that was Tupac. And he's, still alive, but awesome. Yeah,
he's in hiding, by the way. He's alive. He's just in hiding. So.
Yeah, they did not appreciate that music, but yeah, it's completely inappropriate for the.
No, you ever been like just anywhere where like the music's like just inappropriate for like we're like the target audience? I mean, so I don't know who like makes these decisions. I almost want to go to the manager and say, hey, have you. Can you see the connection between like what you're playing? I mean, not that it's bad music, but it's just like it's 8 a.m. on a Sunday, and your clientele are like 70, 80-year-old people just shopping for ethnic Polish food.
So I don't plan this, but this happened last week with the T-shirt, and now again, for some reason, I have on a T-shirt that's appropriate to this conversation. First of all, I am kind of that angry old guy now that doesn't want to listen to loud music anymore.
Like turn it down.
But I'm wearing a T-shirt that says Neo's, which was a nightclub.
Yeah.
Yep, on Fullerton and Clark.
Okay.
That I would go to all the time, where it would be very loud music. So it's just kind of ironic, that the old angry white guy now is wearing it.
No, listen, we went to a nice kind of bar thing, not far from the house. Is that country western bar? They changed it up by Edison Park.
Yeah, Firehouse.
Firehouse, right?
No, Fire Water.
Firewater.
Fire dragons.
Well, that's another conversation.
Yeah. Firewater.
Yeah, and so we're having dinner. It's just dinner time. It's like 6 o'clock. They got really, really good food. Great breakfast. Really good food. The music is so loud.
Yeah.
And we're there. It's I think there's like 6, 8 of us. I can't hear the people. I can't hear two away from me and across. And so I'm doing this, right? I'm just doing this. I'm just doing the nodding. Oh yeah. And if they laugh, I laugh. And if they're serious, I'm like, oh, that's a thing, right? And so we leave.
And obviously you can't hear anything they're saying. So
No, we leave, and my son is just like, you want to kill baby seals? And he starts saying all these things, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do any of that. He goes, you agreed. You were like against all the things that this guy was for. Like, you really, I don't know what you were doing. I go, dude, I couldn't hear a thing. I couldn't hear anything. And he goes, I thought so. He goes, you nodded and smiled more. You didn't say a word. All you did was nod and smile.
That's not like you.
Yeah, that is not like me because I like to get into everything. I got into it yesterday with my buddy Don. I talk about him all the time. He was talking about abortions. Okay, and so he had his opinion, right? And I was just like, wait a minute. You don't want this and that, and he goes, I'm not getting into it with you because you're just gonna yell over me and it's gonna make me sound wrong. And I'm like, yay, I got power.
So it's like you're his wife.
You're gonna make me feel bad and not have sex with me. And I'm like, you're damn right, I'm not gonna have sex with you, Don. You are not my type, man.
I'm gonna withhold.
You're gonna gaslight him all the way.
I will. Okay, so a couple of quick updates. Okay. Do you guys remember, I think 2 weeks ago, that I mentioned that Jackson and I watched Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 and how awesome they were?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And then I mentioned that right after that, Sylvester Stallone started making all these kind of crappy movies, a bunch of bags of turds. And I mentioned one in particular, Cobra. I don't know if you guys mentioned it. Okay.
I love Cobra, by the way. The car was cool. The car was cool in that movie. It was like that primer gray color with the little nitrous boost in it.
And I think that was the first movie that he had his girlfriend in there. That blonde girl who was in Drago's.
Bridget Nielsen. Bridget Nielsen. Yeah. She was like 6'2".
She's taller than him, which is weird.
Yeah.
Listen. Johnny was putting on his glasses to get on his phone to see who that person was.
Yep. Immediately.
Okay. Wasn't he married to her briefly?
He was. He was married to her for a while. Yeah. So here's the weird thing. Okay, so I said that 2 weeks ago. Guess what movie is in the top 10 streaming on Hulu right now?
No.
It's Cobra.
No.
So listen to me. People are listening to what we say, and they are taking it to heart. I'm telling you right now. So how could Cobra all of a sudden be a top 10 streamer in Hulu if it's not for the three idiots?
Because it's a great movie. And by the way, so there was a phenomenon back in a while ago. So remember Beavis and Butthead on MTV when they were like really popular? So this was a real thing. So Beavis and Butthead would like mention a song during their little, cartoon routine, and actually whatever they mentioned, if they mentioned it in a negative or positive light, that song would actually go up or down in the ranking. So actually they had a lot of sway.
So you're saying we have as much sway as two cartoon people?
Like Beavis and Butthead. I remember that one episode where they were talking about like Ozzy Osbourne. He goes, "Monster face and wuss music sucks," because Ozzy Osbourne's got that weird face when he always sings, So
that is.
And how can a guy talk so sloppily but sing so clearly? That's
He's not dead yet, is he?
No, not dead yet.
Actually, who just died? That guy from Goodfellas, Paul Sorvino.
Yeah, Paul E. Walnuts.
Paul Sorvino.
Paul Sorvino died?
Yeah, he was like 82. But the funny thing, he's one of those guys. I thought he was dead like 5 years ago. So when you hear somebody just died, and then you just find it's like George Burns died. I'm like, I thought he died like 25 years ago. It's just weird. So
that is weird. Okay, so another update. Okay, I mentioned this to you guys, but I hate to talk about the show when we're not on the show. So I have been in talks with some local drinking establishments, and we are going to try to do the Real Three Idiots show live. We're going to tape it. We're going to do the show live. Obviously, we record it and then post it later, okay? If you're in the Chicago area, actually the northwest suburbs, you can get a chance to see and hear us record a show, okay? I went to a bunch of places, and one guy actually got back to me today.
Yep. All you need is one.
Well, here's the funny thing. So I go into these places, right? Excuse me. And I'm just like, hey, man, we talk about doing a podcast and everything. And their first response always is, ooh, that sounds pretty cool. We don't do that. I go, well, I know. Nobody does. That's how unique we are. And he goes, oh, okay. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And I go through the whole thing, and I say, but there's one caveat to this. You have to listen to a couple of the shows. You can't just say yes. Okay, I know I look like a regular person, but my mouth is bad and evil.
Even though you enunciate things very well, the words coming out of your mouth are very incendiary.
Yes, right?
And offensive.
And so...
Not to me, but to Johnny Crotch Rocket here.
Johnny Crotch Rocket? Man, I hope that
kidding,
sticks.
That's not a real...
I hope this weekend when I run into Johnny, I'm like, hey, Johnny Crotch Rocket. And his wife just looks at me, why is he calling you that? And I go, hey, you know why, baby?
I'm working on a theme song already Crotch rocket, crotch rocket.
There'll be a new nickname next week. It's not going to stick. Don't worry.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I tell them they got to do this because, what I don't want is somebody going in blind, right? And then we say whatever we say, I don't know.
And they have to close their business down because we just offended
Yeah,
everybody else.
Is that?
Yeah, I don't want it to be like the Blues Brothers where they pull the electrical cord on us, right? And I was like, dur 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 dur. Yeah. So I would say, I said, you got to be careful because we're going to say moderately untoward things in their business, and they just have to be, kind of acceptable, And I was always thinking, is there any way we could limit like the foul language, the sex talk, the mentioning of porn, the murder stuff, not talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene? I just don't think it would work.
I actually have a really good
I
actually have a really good Hitman story later on. This is a good one.
A really good Hitman.
This is actually real. This is actually real. This is a real story.
Okay.
It's actually pretty funny.
Spoiler alert, you've all heard it before.
No shit.
No, it's a new twist on what we've already talked about.
Okay. And then finally, one more update, and then we can kind of move on, okay? We are going to be branching out with our guests, okay? I love everybody we've had on the show. My sister, Brian, Mick, Julia, Dave, Jimmy, awesome. Everybody, and we want to have them back on, okay?
Thank you.
But we've got some different people coming up soon, okay? Coming up soon, I've got us a gun expert. I've got us a guy who knows about guns, and we're going to talk about guns. We're going to talk about gun safety, gun training. I mean, what are people really buying guns for, right? And we're going to talk about, assault rifles and that kind of stuff. But I thought it'd be cool to have somebody on and kind of have like an intelligent conversation, right?
Sure.
Because I feel like if you watch Fox News, it's like everybody should have a gun. Guns are the greatest things in the whole world. Have a gun and a beer and walk around. And then I feel like if you listen to like CNN and MSNBC, it's like all guns are evil. If you look at a gun or you talk about a gun, you're a murderer, right? And that's just not the case.
Well, the whole premise of depending on whether you're a liberal or conservative, the liberals, the conservatives' perception is that we're taking away your freedom,
right,
by taking away your guns because you have the right to quote unquote bear arms and have a militia. Like in the 1700s,
yeah,
and,
that's so
and
stupid.
Conservatives are like, well, if they curtail our right to have guns, they're taking away our rights. They're going to come to our house and confiscate our guns. So it's just too extreme on both sides. Which is not accurate.
You gotta listen to the facts and make an informed decision and not just take a stance and then ignore all the other information that doesn't make sense. But like with that example, I mean, you got two examples there where in Uvalde, they say the only thing that stops, well, not in Uvalde, but they say the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. But in Uvalde, you had 300 cops with guns and nobody did anything. And then in Indiana, you had one 21-year-old with a handgun who
actually was more, even though he had no formal training, he actually did more. He was more effective than a whole SWAT team put together. Yeah. He actually neutralized that shooter in about 15 seconds with no training whatsoever. So, and then you had these cops who had all the training in the world and were within 15 feet of this gunman who couldn't obviously bring themselves to get in there.
But I do just want to say I'm not for assault weapons. Military weapons that are designed to destroy as many people and in the worst way possible, I don't think should be out of
Well, like you said, th're coming out with some companies come out with a new gun that's designed to go through any type of body piercing.
6 hour.
Yeah. But you know what? Here, don't. We're going to get this guy on.
It's a show.
Listen. I called this guy. He's got a place right by my house. Right. He's such an interesting dude. I loved what he had to say immediately. And I'm super stoked about it, okay? Also, on the show, you heard us talk about X-League football, okay? And Chicago's team, the Blitz, and that's women's 7-on-7 football. And I kind of mentioned...
It's like rugby. It's almost like rugby.
It's, except not rugby at all. It's football.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, and I kind of mentioned that they play in, bikinis and stuff. They don't do that anymore, okay? They don't do that anymore. It's still provocative clothing and everything, right? But they're, it's...
But they're real athletes. They're real athletes, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Ted just winked at me.
No, I'm just saying.
He just winked at me.
No, but they're real athletes. But they are athletes.
But he said they're real athletes, and then he winked at me like they're not real athletes.
No, they are real athletes because I'm saying if they tackled you, you would get hurt. I mean, that would hurt if they hit you. It's like remember roller derby? The women in roller derby. I mean, that was tough when they tried to knock you down in roller derby.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's
roller derby was pretend. This is real football.
No, roller derby was real.
Ted, in your face. You ready for this? We're gonna have at least, hopefully, very soon, at least one player, if not two players. From the Blitz on our show, and I'm going to have them tackle you because you winked at me.
Yeah.
You winked at me, and I'm going to tell them that you think they're not real athletes.
I never said that. I actually
You
do.
didn't say it. You winked at me.
No, because I like the provocativeness of it all. Not because I don't think they're actually. I do think they're real athletes. I do think they're real athletes, and I think they could. If they tackled like an average person, that would hurt them.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You ever get tackled? I've been tackled. It hurts.
Yeah,
You don't get tackled the right way. Actually, it actually hurts.
What's the right way?
Even to tackle somebody, like if you don't tackle somebody the right way, you'll get hurt. You'll get hurt if you don't tackle somebody.
Wait, is that what happens to the Bears? They tackle people the wrong way, and that's why they keep losing?
All right, line up. I want to line up here on this side, line on that side, ball in the middle. All right, pull your pants down.
So by the way,
start tackling each other the right way.
How many games do the Bears win this year? I'm not. Without getting into sports, I'm going to say. What is it, a 16 or 17 game season?
17-game season, they win 3 games.
Coach, this feels so wrong. It feels right.
Coach, should he have an erection when he tackles me?
Is there a song by Katy Perry that says that? It feels so wrong. It feels so right.
I don't know.
Oh, you guys are terrible. Okay, so plus and these are just a kind of a taste of what's going to come in. We're going to bring in some other kind of people and kind of class up this kind of useless shit show that we have. Okay,
Yay.
and then one last update. You guys remember? Sorry, I got so much stuff. Everything that happens is so crazy. You guys remember I talked about Matt Getz, the congressman from the stupidest state in the union?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Florida. We'll call it a short version. Yeah. So Matt was under investigation for political influence violations and campaign fraud.
Wasn't his father like some type of like high level guy? Because that's the way he got the job in
so,
Congress.
yeah.
It's not that he's not capable, but the point is
he's not capable. Ted.
He actually did have a very powerful parents or father that I think he had a DUI one time actually before the whole sex scandal thing. Like he had he actually got out of a DUI because his parents obviously have political quote unquote influence in the area. I don't know who his parents are.
Yeah.
Father,
yeah. Right. So he's remember they came to his house. The cops came to his house and they were looking for stuff for this political influence thing. And he asked. Remember, this is my favorite thing. The cops came and said, "We have a warrant," and he said, "Are you here because of that underage sex thing with a girl?" And they went, "Nope, not we weren't, but we are now, asshole." Right?
not yet.
Right. So I don't know if you guys know this. His wife. I'm sorry. He married his wife like in August. In January, his wife testified against him in a grand jury testimony and said that he did have sex with an underage girl. Yeah. Yeah.
So what was like? He looks pretty young. Was he like in his 30s?
So he's 39, and his smoking hot wife is 26. And not that I have listen. More power to him. Okay.
And how old was he? Allegedly, the underage.
I believe she was 15 or 16.
Allegedly, at the time he was in his 30s.
This was just recently. So yes, he was in his mid-30s.
That's
okay.
Obviously.
So he's got all that going on, right? Mm-hmm. And just people are thinking, maybe you're an asshole, maybe you're not an asshole.
And then somebody brokered that deal. It was almost like, remember that Jared guy from Subway, that schmo who he lost weight. And everybody and Subway was a great deal for him. I mean, like remember Subway was paying this guy like $2 million a year to just be like their spokesman, and then it was the same thing. He got busted for like trafficking underage girls, and now he's serving like time in a federal penitentiary in Indiana. It's just like,
who'd have thought everybody wanted to like channel their inner Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, you would just think that like you would see what would happen and be like, no. Okay, so this guy, after all of that, he came out this week and he said, and you guys probably heard this, that he was shocked. Okay, that so many ugly women were pro-abortion because they had no chance to get pregnant because they were disgusting and no one wanted to have sex with them.
He said, why do all the people who are for abortion, why are they 300-pound women who look like a thumb?
Yeah, he said thumb. He used the expression thumb.
And
it's
like disgusting. I mean, he's just a sick person. But he, I guess that there's a bunch of people, teens and other women who have raised, I think, almost $700 million or something for abortion.
Oh yeah,
because of that,
Yeah, and here's a funny thing. Listen, if you're in Florida and you're a woman and you vote for this douchebag, you are literally.
He's just a congressman. He's not even like a senator. So there's 435 congressmen,
right,
and there's only 60 senators. So obviously, a congressman is a step down. So let's a little civics course here. So the president, and then the Senate, and then Congress. So it's like he's just one of like 400 people. So he's kind of like part of just the peanut gallery. So it's more for entertainment, but he really has no real power. right?
Well,
I mean,
all
in the
those
scheme
people,
of things,
all
you know,
those
so-
people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, they're so out there that their party typically censors them or whatever, and they basically get pulled. They're not in any committees, so they're not doing anything for their constituents other than raising money for their campaign funds.
Right, exactly. So, but the point is, but in the scheme of things, they really don't have any power to like change the laws or anything because they're just one of many. In the
Right.
scheme of things, yeah. So I mean, so if you look at it, so even if he chirps about like the Marjorie Taylor Greenes or the AOCs of the world, regardless of what they're saying, I mean, they have limited influence in the scheme of things.
Right, but I'm thinking if you're a woman and you vote for him, you're literally silencing yourself because he doesn't give a shit about women. He has an agenda that doesn't involve women in any way, shape, or form. Why would you let someone like that even represent you?
Listen, if you're, I've said this 1,000 times, you know, if you're a woman, and I don't care about your political beliefs, believe in whatever you want, but there are some people who are just discussing human beings. They have no morals. How can you support them as a woman? You know, how could you sit in that audience and listen to what he's saying?
But the main question is, but there's been people in politics for years and years and years, and I question this day, like just them opening their mouths, like I find them offensive, ignorant, and I would never vote for them on like I said, I mean, I find them disgusting. So, but somebody is voting for these people over and over again to keep them in office. I'm like, who's like looking at these people and say, yeah, this is a great idea. Is this the best option we have?
That's very surprising to me because the same people who do nothing, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell,
Useless,
all these people.
Useless. But they've been there for 20, 30 years.
Right. Why are the people in there just anybody new? Anybody new? Because if you think they're there to help you, you are out of your mind. All they're doing is helping themselves.
And I'm going to say something.
Maxine Waters, who's been in Congress forever. I mean, I think she's like one of the most corrupt politicians. I think she gave her daughter like millions of dollars. You know, insider trading with Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi's husband just bought like $1 million worth of Nvidia stock, which is a semiconductor stock because they're supposed to be there because Congress
graphics
better
chips.
sell it. Yeah, graphic chips. Yeah, because I think Congress is going to give the semiconductor industry like millions of dollars in subsidies, and of course the husband he just quote unquote he sold his position because but the point is he bought it, so he obviously because he has inside information, and these are the same people who Nancy Pelosi is lobbying Congress to like ban insider trading for Congress, but they've already made millions of dollars, so it's just like it's really it's a nothing burger. So don't forget everybody in Congress, they're multimillionaires 10 times over.
Yeah. Here's a quick
everybody
tip.
in Congress.
Here's a quick tip for 20. I know we're not doing that, but here's a quick
we
one.
are in just a second.
Actually,
in a second.
yours might be better because I might repeat myself.
A long time ago in a land far away, there were two graphics companies out there, TDFX and NVIDIA. And if you went on the message boards, it was just a constant fight. NVIDIA sucks. TDFX sucks. NVIDIA sucks. You know what I mean? And I was on the TDFX side, which theoretically had better technology, theoretically.
So you were Beta and VHS?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Betamax had better technology, but VHS still won.
Long story short, TDFX goes bankrupt, and NVIDIA becomes the best performing stock of that year. And, of course, it's still doing extremely well right now, especially because of crypto mining. Mm-hmm. But tip to you 20s out there, don't get involved in a fight. Instead of throwing 10,000 at TDFX, throw 5,000 at TDFX and 5,000 at NVIDIA.
You know what? I will tell you, my old man, he made a ton of dough. There were two companies in Mexico that were vying for the electrical power or something, I think. And so, he doesn't know much about, investing or whatever. So he took a pretty substantial amount of money and he put like $2,000 on one and he put $2,000 on the other. Okay. The one that lost, he lost at $2,000. The one that won, he made an idiotic amount of money because they ran the whole thing.
I just changed my Ted's tips for 20s just based on what you said. I mean, because what you said was so actually awesome. I was trying to think of something and I couldn't think of it, and now you just reminded me.
Okay, so you know what? Let's get to it then, Johnny.
Okay. Yeah.
Can we tip it? Can we start him off?
I think we definitely can do that.
Okay. Okay.
You said you're going to top me off?
Yeah, we're gonna finish you off.
That's what I'm worried about.
Okay. Johnny, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Guess who's back with tips today? That drunky boy that's been away. Haven't changed, had much to say. Driving the 20-somethings crazy. Ted is back with tips. Ted is back with tips. Ted is back. Ted is back.
That was awesome. Johnny wrote that. It was.
That was
listen,
pretty good. That was
the guy
pretty
is.
good. Wow.
Yeah, he's a genius.
He's a genius.
He's a genius.
Exactly, yeah.
He's a genius. Don't say a goddamn word about Queen, or I will fucking
you're
murder
like
you
Charlie
right here.
Sheen from 2.5 Men, because remember he was like a composer. He like actually composed music. Yeah. So yeah.
Wait a minute.
In between crack.
Wait a minute. Charlie Sheen was a composer
in the 2.5 Men show. Yeah, he was a composer. That's why he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So.
In real life, he was a crack.
Listen. I never saw the show. I have no idea what it's about.
He was making $20 million. He was making $20 million a year, so he was actually the highest paid sitcom actor.
It was
at
a
the time.
good show.
And the funny thing, he was just himself. He would drink all day. He would just sit on the couch. He was a womanizer, and yeah, I mean, so basically, they paid him $20 million a year.
Was he doing your life story?
To just be himself. He was just they were paying him to just be himself. It was genius. It was genius.
Oh my God! You know what? I just never got into that. I have trouble with shows that have a laugh track. Well, it seems fake because
don't all shows have a laugh track?
No, they don't. No, it's weird because I don't want you to tell me when to laugh, and sometimes I think the laugh track goes off, and I'm just like, that wasn't really funny.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, I actually rarely laugh at hardly anything unless I had an edible or something. But actually, I look at a lot of stuff where it's like mildly amusing, but I'm like, I like rarely actually like laugh. So I mean, what I see people actually laughing at is like funny. Like I would never laugh at it. I'm like, it's just not.
And that's literally Teddy. That's why I started the show. No, I'm not even messing with you. That's why
I don't even think you're funny.
You dick. Listen. That is the reason. That is the reason.
I don't think I'm funny.
That I wanted to do this, right? Because I'm listening to so many podcasts and I'm watching so many things on TV, and I'm just like, oh, I know exactly what he's going to say next. Yeah. I know exactly what she's going to say next. Here comes a laugh track, and I'm just like, you know what we need? We need to do things that people don't expect, because I think that's the thing that's funny.
So here's my question: when they recorded that initial laugh track, probably back in 1960, are they paying those people a royalty because it's the same people laughing for the last like 30 years? It's like,
I don't think so.
Like,
Here, so funny story. They used to have this thing called the half-hour comedy hour. Okay, and my buddy got tickets for it, and we went one time, and it was on MTV, and we're in the front row because my buddy's kind of connected, kind of like a mafia guy, whatever, and so he's we're watching this, and when I'm at a comedian, I laugh at everything. I mean, comedians to me are hilarious. We saw Tom Segura.
Actually, I got to tell you something funny after you're done, because it just reminded me of
something. I'm laughing every 10 seconds, and you can hear me on this show. And so immediately after the show, the producer runs out, and he says, hey, you guys come here a lot? And so I'm just like, are you trying to pick me up? Because I'm drunk, and I'll go. and so he's like, yeah, we'd like you to come back. We're doing another one next weekend, and we'll give you free tickets. You can sit right up front. You can have free drinks and everything. And I'm just like, what? I was like, man, this guy's trying to get in my pants, right? And I'm thinking, cool, it's worth it for me. I'll keep coming. So my buddy sticks around. He talks to him, and we go out and have a couple of drinks, and he meets us out there. And I'm like, dude, that guy was into me, right? He goes, no, he goes, you laugh so loud at things that all the shit that wasn't funny, you laughed at. Yeah, because I just when I get to a comedy show, I want to laugh.
You know what you are? You're the perfect guy for a comedy show where they can't fill up the audience. So like they hire you, and you just laugh your ass off, and it's like it brings in people. It's like when I go to a casino and I sit at a $5 blackjack table, I'm the only one there, and then like 3 people join me because they see I'm at the table, and it kind of gives them comfort that there's somebody there. That's what it's like. I'm like that
special fellow over there can gamble.
Two things. One, there are no more freaking.
That guy just hit on 18. I got to sit here too.
First of all, there are no more $5 tables.
Yeah.
Well, not in Illinois. You have to go to Reno or Vegas for that. So.
I'm telling you, it's hard to find anything now. Everything's so.
Yeah, everything's like $25, and the people sitting there can't afford it.
Dude, I'm not a gamblist. I am not.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Actually, I'm going to talk about that one episode. That's going to be a good tip for 20s, how to gamble correctly. Because I guarantee you,
but not today.
Not today.
Today's
not the day.
Shit. Oh, Johnny's right. Johnny just held up a sign. He goes, "Do you have a commercial you have to do before Teddy does tips for 20s?" Yes, I do. Okay, hold on, Teddy. Let me do this, and then you're in. Okay. From the people that brought you Nearly Chicken, Nearly Hot Dogs, and recycled foods comes the best idea since meat in a can. It's Nearly Beer. Nearly Beer is made from 100% alcohol, no hops, no barley, and no fillers. Nearly Beer can be consumed by children, pregnant women, homeless drug addicts, and the elderly. When you want to get drunk fast, Nearly Beer is perfect. Warning, just 6 ounces of Nearly Beer will get you legally drunk and make driving and erections impossible. Do not drink more than 1 Nearly Beer in any 3-week period. Nearly Beer will make all animals look attractive and available. If you want all the drunkenness but do not care about taste or explosive and violent diarrhea, try Nearly Beer today. Don't let common sense stop you from a good time.
Sounds like bath salts.
I'm drinking it now.
or Sharps or O'Doul's. Was that Miller High Life?
Wow. You know, it's so funny. We get you know, as we kind of like evolve and change and everything, and I'm kind of getting less. I'm trying to be less.
Isn't evolving involve changing?
I'm going to punch you in the dick.
In the baby maker.
I just kind of look. I just kind of like I'm getting away from like all these things. And I love that Johnny had to remind me. He's like, "Hey man, aren't you supposed to press that button right now, or we all die?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that button." Okay, Teddy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, and I know we got to do tips, but I can't help but throw this in. It just fits so well after the Nearly Beer commercial. And you'll never guess where this happens. But anyway, a man accused of selling a toxic industrial bleach as a coronavirus cure through his church,
Mr. Trump,
has been returned to the United States after he was arrested in Colombia. I won't say his name. He's the Archbishop of the Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing. And he sold chlorine dioxide and claimed the toxic solution was a cure for a vast variety of illnesses. He dubbed it the miracle mineral solution, and it cures COVID, cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, autism, malaria, hepatitis, Parkinson's, herpes.
Is he no different than the snake oil salesman back in the 1800s who would sell snake oil that promised?
That is so funny. I was just going to say that.
Cholera.
Yeah. Anyone want to guess where his church is located?
Wait, is it anywhere right next to Matt Gaetz' office in Florida?
Yes, it is.
Actually, my favorite story this week. Some quote unquote. So you know how much I love pastors. Some pastor was robbed on live stream of $1 million in jewelry during one of his live stream services.
What?
And that's not the best part.
Wait, on video?
On video.
Yeah.
So the best part was he actually got arrested because I guess he's committing obviously some type of fraud or something, or he's, it's like one of those mega churches where this guy's living in an opulent lifestyle.
Oh, they arrested him?
For something, yeah. But the point is he got robbed of number one, to have $1 million of jewelry robbed of you in church, so that means...
Wait, and not being in the NBA and not going to the south side of Chicago?
It's not Antoine Walker. It's not Antoine Walker. You're going to get $1 million.
So this has nothing to do about who this man is, or I know nothing about him. But I'm just a pessimist and a skeptic. And when I see someone getting robbed of $1 million on film live, it's like,
Not all fake jewelry, and I'm getting the insurance company?
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, well, why would I do that? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
No, that sounds like it's the perfect setup, right? The guy gets away with it, and then you go, that was $1 million. And then somebody says, why were you wearing $1 million in jewelry? God wanted me to. Yeah, God wants me to have lots and lots of shiny jewelry so that I can show people what you can get if you bullshit people. And
Yeah.
Oh, but
There's
fuck that.
a lot of bullshitting going on.
Fuck all that, Ted. I want to hear your tips.
Okay, so I had a tip, but I got a feeling what I was going to say was going to be a repeat of something I said like 20 episodes ago, so I'm not going to say it. This might be a repeat too, and if it is,
oh my God,
I guess I'm going to have a tip then. So the tip this week is, because you gave me some inspiration, don't listen to gurus.
Ooh, okay.
Don't listen to gurus, okay? Because you know what?
Even if they have Kool-Aid?
Jim Jones, Guyana? Yeah, so yeah. Especially that guy. Don't listen to that guy.
Hold on a second. When they started drinking the Kool-Aid and you started watching people pass out, did you think, wow, that's
I
really
want
good
some of
Kool-Aid?
that.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, I didn't even know. So where's Guyana? I think Guyana is like in South America, right? Guyana?
I thought it was in Africa.
No, it's not. Guyana is not in Africa. I thought it was.
Oh no! Hold on.
Google
Johnny's
it.
putting Johnny's putting on
Google
his
it, yeah.
Johnny's putting on the specs
It's-
and
it's-
grabbing his phone.
'cause it sounds like it's Africa, but it's not. I think it's like South America somewhere. But that's the one. Jim Jones back in like the 1970s. He was actually from Indiana. He was a guy from Indiana where he was a pastor, reverend, whatever, and he basically convinced 900 ordinary people to give up their whole lifestyle for whatever bullshit, whatever
But
bullshit.
there's always listen.
Yeah, but
there's
900 people.
always listen. If you do that and you claim you're a messiah or whatever,
exactly.
you can get. I think you can get 900 people easily.
Well, here's a joke. Here's the running joke. Like, if we had bad intentions, could we go online and just make up some bullshit like
You mean like
Dianetics,
podcast?
like Dianetics, or Scientology and just make some shit up and just say, and we could find some like mentally disturbed people throughout the country. Which there's, I mean, obviously that mental illness is a serious thing. I'm not besmirching that, but the point is,
kind of,
yeah. But the point is, just make some stuff up where people would like be convinced that we're real and follow us. Yeah, I mean,
absolutely,
yeah,
we
but,
could.
But I would never do that because I mean that's horrible. But this guy obviously,
that is good to know. You know what?
Yeah, the temple was called Jonestown.
Jonestown,
and it was in Guyana, which is in South America.
South America. What part of was it? Like Venezuela or
the good part?
Oh,
the good part of South America.
Northern mainland of South America, the Republic of Guyana.
Yeah, so the point is, so these 935 people, I think it's about 900 plus people, went down there to follow this lunatic, and obviously he obviously, I think so a state senator went down there to investigate what was going on, and so he got killed, and then obviously then it was...
Wait, state senator who was down there investigating, he drank the Kool-Aid also?
No, they shot him. They shot him on the tarmac, yeah. They killed him the old-fashioned way. They killed him the old-fashioned way. But then his followers, because he knew he couldn't go back anywhere, so he convinced them to... Obviously not all of them, but some of them drank that poison Kool-Aid, which was laced with cyanide, voluntarily, but the others did it at gunpoint. So, yeah, but the point is, to this day, I think that's still the biggest mass suicide in history. 935 people, lost their lives because there's one lunatic.
It's not a suicide if a guy's holding a gun to your head and telling you to drink the Kool-Aid. I mean, that's called murder.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait, we're not supposed to talk about murder because we're not going to be able to do our show live.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
no more of that.
No more murder talk. Ted.
Okay, so we're going to have guru talk. So guru talk. So for example, when I was a kid back in the 70s and 80s, there was a guy on TV. His name was Carlton Sheets. You probably don't remember him.
I do remember that.
He was a real estate guy. He'd come on at 2 a.m. He was an older guy. He was in his 60s, looked very harmless. This is how you make money in real estate. Blah blah blah. And yeah, he had some good principles. But you buy my books and tapes.
Yep.
It's like $100.
Buy my books and tapes.
So the point with any guru, especially these get rich quick gurus. Yeah, they might have made some money, or they're making money off their books and tapes, but the point is, whatever they did, they were in the right place at the right time at that moment in time, and they got lucky, but what they did at that time doesn't apply to this time. So what they did in 1970 doesn't apply to 2022.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, there might be some principles that apply, but the point is, whatever quote-unquote blueprint they have that they're going to sell you for a good sum is not applicable. So be very careful what gurus tell you because they sound so sure. Like people who sound so sure of themselves. This is what you need to do. This is what you need. No, they don't know shit. Gurus don't know. Tony Robbins doesn't know shit.
They know how to milk people out of their money.
Yeah. Joel Osteen doesn't know shit. Joel Osteen?
No, Joel Osteen is a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit, yeah.
But Tony Robbins doesn't know shit.
Of course he doesn't know.
I saw him in that movie.
Oh, he's good.
Something about Mary? Something about Mary?
Yeah, he's impressive. No. He's got the he's got giantism, right? So he's like 6'8". He's because I think people.
Yeah, he's so big. He should know something.
Yeah, when you look at somebody who's like, no, seriously, it's psychological. Seriously, when you see somebody who's physically so much bigger than everybody else, you have a tendency to want to believe them because they're so beautiful, right? They're he's tan, he's got the straight teeth, he's got the black dark hair, he's jumping on a fucking trampoline before his shtick thing. He charges $5,000 a seminar, right?
Yeah, no, you told us that.
We told you a long time ago, right?
You never mentioned that you thought he was beautiful. But
I'm saying he's a good-looking specimen in the scheme of things. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm gonna,
it's getting gay up in here.
It's not like I want to hug the guy. I'm just saying, but psychologically, when somebody sees somebody who's,
I'm not gonna let him tackle me.
No, I'm saying it's like
the right way.
Well, there's
with an erection.
Well, listen, so there's been studies. So if someone who's who people,
oh my God.
So if there's someone people perceive as physically attractive, whether it's a Brad Pitt,
Liam Hemsworth,
we love him. Liam Hemsworth.
Well, here, I'll go one better. Ryan Reynolds,
Cameron Smith.
That porn stash. Well, I mean, he's a great putter.
God, is he the ugliest person? I feel like all the money he made when he won the British Open, I wish he would just go and get a makeover.
Yeah.
Go to Queer Eye for the straight guy and just get a makeover, and they can just do this. Okay, here's what we're going to do. The complete opposite of that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so Teddy, that's a good tip.
No, seriously, but I'm saying, actually, here's the tip within the tip. So this is like a Russian doll thing. So the tip within the tip. I like this. So
that's what I tell the ladies.
That's all that matters.
Ladies, this is the tip within the tip. There's no shaft. No, it's just tips.
So we have a tendency to believe people who we perceive as very physically desirable or attractive because whatever they say, they're such a good look. This is someone I want to be with or aspire to look like. they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but because they look good, you just automatically are inclined to listen to what they have to say, and that's fool's gold.
No, listen, I switched to Mint Mobile because Ryan Reynolds owns it. I'm not fucking with you. I switched to Mint Mobile because I'm just like, hey, listen, Ryan, there's no way Ryan Reynolds would lie to me.
He is a
I love him.
man.
Oh, yeah, of course he is. Of course he is. Yeah. If I had to go through his wife to get to him, I would do that.
Exactly.
He went from so the first
that's the Deadpool guy, right? Deadpool.
Yeah.
yeah, but I think the first time I saw him, he was in like a really cheesy restaurant comedy movie.
Yeah, some sitcom about pizza or something. Yeah.
It was a movie.
Two guys. Oh, okay.
Yeah, a movie. He's like a waiter, like at a TGIF or something like that, and he's just so sarcastic and funny, and it's like and he's attractive, so it's like he's personable. But then when he started making the big movies and whatnot, he just got so buff. Dude, the guy worked out like an animal.
Well, of course, no, he didn't work out. He had personal trainers and personal shops.
Well, he still had to work out.
Yeah, of course. But the point is, he's doing it 6 days a week with professional guidance. Of course, like if
Teddy,
three of us got a professional trainer the next day, and it said your full-time job is to work out and flip tires.
you would still be fat, Ted.
I still have a dad bod, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, Ted, no.
And you're eating shrimp and you're eating sushi every day and salmon and asparagus.
Listen, they're agreed. They have every thing that makes it easier, but the bottom line is they're still busting their chops.
Hell yeah.
The guy's like, I saw something the other day. I can't remember who it was. Like, you want to look like like an actor in a movie? It's like, okay, well, first thing, just quit your job.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
Well, that is their job. That's their full-time. That's their full-time job. Work
out 3 times a day.
Like Mark Wahlberg. I mean, so like there'd be roles where
I just don't find him attractive.
No, but the point is,
I don't like Southeast.
No, but the point is, he's got a team of people, so he can be like or Christian Bale. He's like skinny one movie. He's a dick. But the point is, he's skinny one movie. He's in great shape the next movie. He's the average Joe the next movie. And that's because he has a team of people that, he works with. That's his full-time job, is to work out and look that way.
Okay. You know what I feel like? I feel like, and my buddy Pete told me this. He goes, you got to stop talking about hot guys. He goes, you guys devolve into hot guy talk. Yeah. And he goes,
let's talk about hot guys.
And it just seems weird. It just seems weird. All right, Johnny, hit me with anything other than hot guys.
All right, we're going to go to hot girls.
Damn, I like this.
And I think this is probably one of the hottest girls in the world today. But Spanish prosecutors want Shakira behind bars.
I think Shakira is the youngest billionaire. Is that right? She's the youngest billionaire
I think
ever.
That's one of the Kardashians.
Rihanna. Oh, it's Rihanna. Rihanna, Shakira.
No, it's Kardashian. Is that?
No. Rihanna replaced the.
I see.
But Shakira's hips don't lie. Am I right with that?
So true. And here's the thing. I guarantee you can find a lot of women who can dance as well as Shakira. But back to Ted's tips. There's something about her. She just draws you in. When you see her, like her.
Oh, hell yeah.
She just draws you in, and you can't look away, But anyway.
You mean like Ryan Reynolds?
No, actually, I can. I can look away.
What?
You don't like her?
You don't think Shakira is hot?
No, I mean, she's like all right looking, but I mean, like, if. But if I didn't know who she is, it's like playing.
Name one person you take over Shakira right now.
It's like playing Augusta National. It's like if I didn't know where I was, I would think it's an okay course.
Oh my God,
you're so full of shit.
That's heaven.
If you had no context, we talked about this. If you had no context where you were, you know what you would say? You'd say this is a really cool course, but if you didn't know the history or the tradition or how quote unquote how tough it is to get on it, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Yes,
you wouldn't know. But still,
it's just it's marketing.
So Teddy,
it's marketing.
So Teddy,
you've been mind fucked.
Hey man, as long as I'm getting fucked by something.
Yeah.
But listen, if the three of us were sitting in Howard Street, okay, and we were waiting for whatever, we're doing whatever, and Shakira walked in, she wouldn't be head and shoulders hotter than everybody who's ever walked in that place.
You know why she wouldn't be? Because if you had no context, I would think that the people who are actually the wait staff there look. There's some women there.
I wish you didn't say that. But I have to admit, they do have a very attractive waitstaff. Very attractive.
Yeah.
But
so I wouldn't know.
But you're not saying that Shakira is like she's ridiculous hot.
No, I mean I don't think so. She's like all right looking.
So let me
and she works out with professional trainers, of course. So.
Let me wrap that up.
A little bit of pelvis.
Let me wrap that up with a little perspective. I'm going to wrap that up with a little perspective, and then I'll go on with this, because it's kind of interesting. But I understand what Ted's trying to say, but I think he's exaggerating it to make a point. No, the point is because I used to have this conversation with people. They're like, "Oh, this guy's hot," and I'm like, he's good looking, but he's not that hot. If he were behind a deep fryer at McDonald's, you might second guess yourself. You know what I mean? I think that's where Ted's going, like a little bit. But,
Okay.
But anyway,
I can see that.
The point is, you kind of know when you see it. I mean, it doesn't really matter whether they're a celebrity or not a celebrity. Like I mean, we've all been out in public where it's like you see somebody's like, man. Like I'm not even going to use women. I'm going to use a guy as an example. I mean,
No, don't. Stop it.
I'm using a guy. I'm going to use a guy where it's like, man, and this is a very homosexual way. I'm just like, man, that's.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
And women do this all the time. They judge each other. I just be like, man, that's a good looking guy. I mean, you know what?
Oh man.
Right.
Not that.
Let's move on.
Pete, I'm sorry.
I find this interesting because, this is her hometown or whatever, Columbia. They want to put her away for 8 years.
Wesley Snipes got 2 years for tax evasion.
For tax fraud.
Wesley Snipes got 2 years.
And you might be asking yourself, well, what kind of tax fraud?
What kind of tax fraud? Oh, sorry, I was asking myself that.
Al Capone got 11 years.
So it's
at Alcatraz.
In syphilis.
It's not like
tertiary syphilis.
It's not like she's Trump, where she just doesn't file her returns or just out and out lies. Instead, what happened is I wasn't living there for 2 years. And they say you did live there for 6 months, and therefore you owe us taxes. And she goes, no, I wasn't living there. So it's kind of that technicality.
So it's just a he said, hot girl, she said?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they want to put her away.
They want to put her away for 8 years.
8 years is a long time.
How about just settling?
8 years
maybe this
is
is a threatening bargaining chip so they can get money out of her.
That's ridiculous.
8 years is a long time for tax evasion. I mean, they don't even give you 8 years for fucking murder Excuse me, that's my first F word.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's
Teddy
not
got the first F word of the day.
I'm sorry,
No.
my bad.
No,
No.
he said fuck before that?
Yes.
Damn it, Ted.
So Rod Blagojevich, who was the former governor of Illinois, he basically used a lot of colorful language. He dropped a lot of F-bombs. He never took any money.
He cannot be on the podcast.
No, he got 14. I'd love him on the podcast. He got 14 years.
That's an interesting concept.
14
You heard
years.
the tapes, right?
Yeah, but the point is, he
tried.
He tried, but he didn't get it. But Jesse Jackson Jr. actually did steal $700,000+ from his constituents in his district, and he only got 2 years. And his wife Sandy Jackson, whatever her name is, she got like 2 years. And
Sandy Beach.
Yeah. And then the funny thing, they have to serve at the same time because they have to take care of their quote unquote their kid. So the point is, Rod Blagojevich.
Why do I feel like
he didn't steal anything?
Yeah.
He got 14 years, and thankfully Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, he commuted he commuted his sentence because he was going to serve 14 years in a penitentiary in Colorado for nothing. And there's people serving 14 years right now for like triple homicides. They're serving less time for murder.
Yeah.
So they just wanted to make an example of him because he rubbed him the wrong way. He hurt somebody's feelings.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's really
then
what
he
it was.
should rub him the right way.
Yeah, exactly. Actually,
Tackle him.
I would love to have
Why
Rod.
don't you rub me the right way?
I would love to have Rod Blagojevich on this podcast.
I have one more thing. I don't know if it'll be enough to get him off of Rod Blagojevich, but one last thing.
I'm off it now, obviously.
A Texas jury has ordered Charter Communications to pay $7 billion with,
$100 billion
with a B
$1 billion.
in punitive damages to a family of an 83-year-old grandmother
Oh, come
who
on.
was robbed and murdered by a cable
Yeah,
repairman.
I read that.
$7 billion.
They're going to appeal it immediately.
Of course.
But the
First
point,
of all,
that's why you can't
just
trust.
fucking
You can't trust
stupid.
juries. I mean,
That's the stupidest thing ever.
Here's the thing. Regardless how tragic the circumstances were, and no doubt they were tragic, no human life is worth $7 billion.
Okay, so
not one person in this whole world, in the history of the world, is worth $7 billion.
Well, here, let me help you. Let me help you with this.
Yeah.
I'm going to
especially an 80-year-old woman who her life expectancy. Let's say she lived to be 95.
Right, but let's just do this. Let's just do this. Number one, she's dead. So who's getting the money?
Exactly.
She
Kids.
died.
Exactly.
No, but they don't. They weren't part of this. Whatever. They don't need that fucking money, right? They don't need that money. So giving them $7 is a ridiculous thing. Take that guy, right? Put him on a stage, wrap a rope around his neck, hit the thing, let him fall through. That's it. But why would their kids get anything from their 80-year-old mother getting killed? I mean, in the world's worst case scenario, if one of us died, why would my kids get money? See,
So, and you know me, I'm against
Tort reform.
I'm for tort reform, and I'm against frivolous lawsuits. And I'm not saying that they should pay $7 billion, but I think
What a ridiculous concept.
I think what's happening here is, right, you have Charter Communications, which is a company who's one of their employees.
Well, when they get bankrupt, then let's just say hypothetically they have to pay that judgment.
Yeah. Well, maybe they
So
they should.
Thousands of people would be out of work.
So Ted,
Wait a minute. You can't blame Charter for one jagoff who kills somebody.
No, but let me make my point. I cannot blame them for one jagoff that killed somebody. But what I can do is say this, and I don't know the details, but what if Charter isn't doing any background checks whatsoever, and they have a habitual pattern of their drivers robbing or doing
And murdering people?
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe
maybe not murder, but if they're robbing, if they're whatever,
Okay, I could see that.
then they should be penalized.
But let's say
Right,
you're right.
but not giving
not
$7
$7
billion
No.
to the kids of somebody who got killed.
No human life is worth $7 billion, especially an 83-year-old woman. I'm sorry,
Ted, and I would disagree. Ryan Reynolds is worth at least that, maybe $8 billion.
Well, you think his ball sack's worth $7 billion?
Jesus Christ! All right, here. I'll give you a number. You ready? 3,501. Anybody tell me why 3,501 is an important number? Nothing? No guesses?
Nothing.
Are you ready for this? If Trump decides to sue CNN, it will be his 3,501st lawsuit that he has been involved in. One jagoff has been involved in over 3,000 lawsuits.
That's what he do.
That's not a thing. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with our law system if this asshole has been part of more than 3,000 lawsuits. I'm sorry.
100%. I'm going to throw another number out at you. 40-something lawsuits related to the false election. Every single one of them has failed. The RNC, the Republican National Convention, is paying all of his personal legal fees, so that's why he can make these frivolous lawsuits. And they threatened to stop that, which they should have done 41 lawsuits ago. But if he didn't have those people just paying him the money to do that, he wouldn't do it. That's the thing. It's like it's so annoying. It's ridiculous.
So listen. This is what he says. He says he's going to sue CNN and all the other media outlets. For saying that the claims of his fixed elections are ridiculous, stupid, simple-minded, ignorant, and completely and totally retarded. Wait, hold on a second. I said some of those. We're getting sued. Yes!
Didn't that Kyle Rittenhouse, the guy who shot those protesters in Kenosha during that civil unrest, didn't he threaten to sue the various media outlets for portraying him as quote-unquote a white nationalist? And that Nicholas Sandmann who confronted that American Indian guy on his Capitol steps, they made him seem like a white nationalist. I think he actually just got his cases dismissed, in federal court.
They threw all of his slander cases were thrown out.
Yeah,
he's a dick. That kid's a dick.
Trump does two things: he bankrupts companies and he sues people.
Yeah,
that's it.
So listen, he filed another. So this is an additional part of it. He's also suing. Are you ready for this? All the people who didn't vote for him, and he's suing all the people who were in comas and in jail who didn't try to wake up or escape from jail and vote for him. Yeah, it's a very thorough lawsuit. Right. He is on top of it.
Well, here's what you have to remember, guys. So the big picture takeaway is that I guess the plaintiff's bar, the plaintiff attorney's bar, is a very powerful lobbying group. So that's why they make, for example, John Edwards, who ran for president back in the the early 2000s. Remember, he knocked up his videographer chick.
Oh, man,
and it was pretty funny. But he was like he was a very holier than thou guy.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
yes, he was.
But the point is, he was a plaintiff's attorney. He was a plaintiff's civil attorney who made millions of dollars with personal injury cases. So the point is, unless you change the whole system, you're going to keep getting what you get. So you have to look at the forest and not the trees in this particular case. So I think in Canada, and I could be wrong, but like if you sue somebody frivolously, and frivolous is that's a subjective term. But the point is, if you lose, you have to pay the other side's defense costs. So there needs to be some type of penalty if you decide. Because the point is, you can get sued and you have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to defend yourself. And even if you win, the other side just walks away unscathed. But there needs to be some type of, like anything, criminal justice. You need to have some immediate penalty. That's going to hurt you.
Well, that's
if you're wrong.
That's how Trump gets away with Stormy Daniels and other people like that.
Yeah.
These cover-ups where they threaten these women with lawsuits because they know they don't have the legal fees to fight them in court, so they settle.
That's really what it is.
And they sign the deals.
Yeah, a lot of these. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a cottage industry like anything else. I mean, once you're in the civil court system, it's just huge money for whomever. Here, I'll give you an example. Like I'm gonna use this for example, like Ukraine. So the money we send to Ukraine, like we send $40 billion to Ukraine, we don't know where that money's going. I mean, so
I know where that money's going.
Yeah, I mean, so there's probably a handful of people getting rich with those funds from America, but we don't know where the equipment's going. We don't know whether it's being sold to. But I guarantee you, there's a handful of people who are corrupt, bad actors getting rich.
Did you see Russia sneaking out 1 ton of gold from Sudan?
What?
Yeah, they're.
Where does Sudan get a ton of gold?
They're huge gold mines in Africa, and they've done several of these supposedly, but they got busted with this latest one, trying to sneak out a ton of gold.
Isn't the concept of gold a ridiculous thing?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you give money for gold? Who gives a shit about gold?
Yeah.
Right? Who gives a shit about gold? But here,
At one
I'll
time-
give you a little Russia's thing. You guys know that United States is putting together a deal for Brittany Grenier, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so it's
right.
Brittany Grenier, and I guess they worked in some, like, I don't know, famous, meaningless other guy who's going to come back, right? And so we're trading them an arms dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trading them an
Yeah,
arms
the
dealer.
guy who's like the merchant. He was like
Merchant
the
of
quote unquote
death.
the merchant of death. Yeah, that's what they were talking about that for a long time. Yeah, so obviously it's not really about the whole point of the Brittany Grenier thing. It's not about punishing her for some stupid CBD cartridge she
she's
has in her
being used
wallet.
as a
They're just using her as a
pawn.
bargaining chip to get
Right.
who they
Well,
want.
You know that Russia said that's not a good enough guy.
Yeah.
So we had to sweeten the deal, and I have done some research. Some deep dive
On the
research.
guy they want.
No, and I found out what we're sweetening the deal with. Are you ready? Right? So we're not just sending them the arms dealer. This is what America had to add. To the deal to get Brittany Grenier back. Are
Okay.
you ready? We are giving the Russians 3 2-liters of Dr. Pepper and a DVD of the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, the uncut version, and all of the Kardashians, anyone they ever had sex with, and everyone who's ever been on their show.
That could last for
So it's
days.
a win-win-win-win-win.
And a case of near.
Oh, I
what
thought-
kind
I
of
thought-
beer is it?
Nearly beer.
I think
Nearly beer.
it'd be Dak Prescott losing another playoff game.
No, so Russia has come back and said they want another guy who is accused of murder.
Ryan Reynolds. Oh
No, who's in a
That would be great if
just
they.
a-
That
that's just
would
a
be
movie.
great
That's
if
just a
they
movie.
demanded.
Ryan
Yes,
Reynolds.
we now one more thing. We want Ryan Reynolds, and
Yes.
do not give him pence.
He's our show pony. He's
He
gonna
must
be our
make
show
2
pony.
movies,
Yes. And both of them will be pornographic.
and Putin will kill him to show how strong he is.
All right, so I got.
But they do want that German guy who's in a German prison. Russia asked for another guy, another
a
murderer.
German guy who's in a German prison.
No, a Russian guy who's in a German prison, which is like, okay, well, they're in Germany, but they're wanting more and more.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
That is, besides the 2 liters, what the fuck?
But
That's crazy.
Here's the thing, and I know her wife was complaining that they're not doing enough, but mind you, there is literally there's other people there in Russia.
Oh, do you realize they're detaining there's hundreds. There's hundreds of other Americans that are
Yeah.
being detained.
There's a teacher, Mr. Fogel, who's been there for 11 months. He had some medicinal marijuana that had a prescription. I don't know why you would take that into Russia anyway.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. You're being stupid.
but who's heard of him?
That's like
no one's heard of
I'm
him.
saying that's like going to like
No.
Malaysia with any type of drugs at all. Everything there is like
Yeah.
a death penalty offense. Yeah, you don't want to mess with
You
that.
can't do that. You absolutely can't do that. Okay, so guys, I want to go back to Florida. I love Florida.
Me too. I got more Florida
You,
stuff.
you want to
Okay,
go?
okay.
You want to go visit Florida? Or you just want to talk about Florida?
Listen, so no, do you know what the funny thing is? So I'm going to tell you this story, okay? And I have been to this place, okay? So Governor Ron DeSantis, okay? He is going after the big fish in Miami, okay? And he is trying to shut down a restaurant in the Miami Wynwood area called the R House. Have you guys ever, Teddy?
I've never heard
So
of it.
I've told Teddy, my brother-in-law and my sister my brother-in-law lives in Miami. He works in Miami, so he's there about half the year. And we've been down to visit him and with my sister, and we are in the Wynwood area. He's right there. It's a fantastic place. And now I have never been in the R House, but my brother-in-law and my sister, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, "You guys have been in here?" And they're like, "Yeah." Okay. So here's the problem. The R House crossed the line, okay? So they have a drag show.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Brunch, a drag show brunch every Sunday at this restaurant. Okay, it's just a restaurant, and there are children in the restaurant while this is going on.
I knew where you were going with that.
Okay, so here's what it is. Okay, so the governor has a video. He has a video in his possession that shows a girl about the age of 5 being led around by a drag queen. Okay, and this drag queen, yeah, of course, she's wearing a G-string. She's got dollar bills hanging out, and she's got pasties on her breasts. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. I'm saying she and breasts. Yeah, it's a dude, right? It's a dude, okay? The dude does not have any boobies. So he's just got pasties where his boobies would be if he was a girl. And I know what you're thinking. He just led a 5-year-old around. But wouldn't the parents, stop them? Say you're at this brunch where you know there's drag queens there, okay? And the drag queen comes and says, "Oh, hey, little girl, come with me." And the parents goes, "Oh, no, thank you." But they didn't. And they let this happen, right? Because you're at a drag brunch,
Right.
okay? And everybody is freaking out. Everybody's freaking out. And he wants to shut that place down.
I don't even
Yes.
know where to go with this. It's like I get sick of the Republicans say that they want federal government not involved in their lives and let people live and whatever and stay out of our business, and yet they just want to get in everyone's business.
Yeah, that's the whole premise of the Republicans, like less government, right? Democrats want more government,
Right.
Republicans want less government.
Right.
Right? That's the
that
whole premise.
that should be up to the parents.
Yeah, it's up to the parents. Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, they could have easily said, "Hey, you know what? We're not letting you do that, and we just walk out right now."
Ted, you're going. It's advertised as a drag brunch. If you didn't like it,
So they knew that in advance.
they knew that in
Yeah.
advance,
Yeah.
right? So here's what happened. So the governor says, and this is what they said: the nature of their performances, particularly when conducted in the presence of young children, corrupts the public morals and outrages the sense of public decency.
And let's assume he's right, but the point is the parents allowed that to happen.
Right.
The parents knowingly and voluntarily brought their 5-year-old kid to this event that they knew what was. I mean, so it's not like you were just going to a brunch and then this drag show just popped up out of nowhere.
It did not pop up on, and
Yeah.
even at that point, you could have left.
You could have left.
If you're sitting in this place and there's a drag show, you could be like, "Wait a minute, I do not like what is happening right now because I feel weird in a place below my waist
Yeah.
that shouldn't be happening."
And I guess the question is, why would a professional like a drag queen person take a 5-year-old out of all people?
I don't seem to
Teddy-
have a problem
Teddy,
when
I
they.
mean,
but the point is, I mean, we could talk about this ad nauseum, but the point is, there's a lot of things.
But I mean, whatever, man.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? It's up to the parents, right? How they want to teach their children.
Yeah.
Like
It's not the 5-year-old's fault.
Listen, there's nothing
Of course it's not.
inherently wrong about being flamboyant and dressing
Yeah.
up
You know, it's like
any way
it's like
you
Vegas.
want.
It's like going to
right?
like one of those burlesque shows in Vegas where they, the cabaret shows in Vegas where
Right,
it's
where
like,
the guys dress up like Cher
yeah,
and shit.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's cool. But I mean, we're all adults going to those shows. But
Right.
the point is,
But if you don't like it, don't fucking go.
We could, or we could just get up and leave
Right.
if we decided that it's too taboo for
That's
us.
like watching a TV show where you call and complain about the TV show when you could have done the one thing that
Turn it
every
off.
person in the whole world hit the fucking channel button and just don't watch it.
Sure.
I don't understand it. But I did do some research on this, and I don't know if you guys know this, but there's been scientific research that says if a drag queen touches a person of any age, they immediately become a pervert.
Ooh, and an angel gets its
I thought
wings.
that- I thought
And
they
an
made- I thought
angel
they
gets
made
its wings.
They turned into I thought they were going to turn into a dragon, like a real dragon.
Hey, look, fellas, I'm giving angels wings, and I'm making kids perverts. Yeah. No, I don't understand the concept behind it. It's such a simple thing. If I go to a restaurant that I don't like, if I go to a bar I don't like, if I go to a movie I don't like, I'm leaving, and I'm never coming back, right? But if you tell me this movie has murder, raping, guys getting their heads cut off, if that's all in that thing, and I go there and then I complain because there was murder, raping, and people getting their heads cut off.
Is that I spit on your grave?
I'm an idiot. Yeah, Ted. We're reliving your 5-year-old experience.
Yeah, my problem is sexuality in America. It's so weird. It's like people are so obsessed and so afraid of it. It's like if two people are gay and they want to do whatever they want to do, then that's up to them. And I don't understand how that impinges on your rights in any way.
Well, I think the
their children live in that environment, and they should be taught about how the father, like Buttigieg, he's got a a daughter, I think, right?
Dad, I do not know.
He's got a kid.
Yeah, he's married to a guy.
Yeah, but he's got a kid.
Yeah,
I don't know if
kid,
it's a boy or a girl.
but it's adopted, obviously.
You mean it didn't? Hold on a second. You mean it did not come out of Pete Buttigieg's husband's penis?
Well, you know what? If it did, that would be the biggest news story of the year. Yeah. The point is, I think there needs to be like a sexual re-education of America because I mean, people are still so repressed and
They are.
But my point is this.
and scared and ignorant.
But
and
my
I don't
point
know what
is
it
this: Ron DeSantis is forcing his perverted, disgusting beliefs on a small child. Right? If a small child sees someone who's dressed up flamboyantly and dancing and laughing and having fun, they're just going to enjoy that. They're not going to be, oh wait, I want to be gay.
Right.
It's you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's not turning anyone into whatever they are, right?
No.
It's not going to turn someone. Listen.
Yeah, it's not COVID. You're not going to get like
Here's
a
the
disease.
thing.
You're not gonna
Here's what I would ask.
You're not
I
going to
would-
get infected.
I
You
would
know?
love to be locked in a room
Oh, I bet you would.
and wouldn't beat anybody up or anything like that. But like just be in a room with those guys and be in a room with those guys and say, listen, if you are around and associate with drag queens and homosexuals, are you going to become a homosexual, Ron DeSantis? And of course he'll say no.
Yes. Of course he would say yes.
So he's going to say no.
Right.
So why don't you give other people that credit and just let people live and do their thing and let people make their own judgments? No one's going to become gay by association.
I think you know what I think they're terrified of some weird because they talk about this indoctrination thing. I'm like, listen. This is what freaks me out. Why are you so worried about what everybody else is doing?
Right.
You're like, did you guys ever watch the movie, the TV show Bewitched?
Oh yeah.
I've
And
seen
they
it a
had
long time
they had
ago,
the
yeah.
nosy neighbor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, every show did.
Agnes Kravitz,
right? And she was always up in somebody else's fucking business. And I'm just like, you know what? Listen, you do your thing.
And
right?
you know where
let
that
everybody
show was
else
shot,
do that
right?
thing. No, where?
Florida, because
No way.
Cape Canaveral, because of the
Oh yeah, because he was an
Right.
astronaut.
yeah,
No way. Wait, wasn't he an astronaut?
yeah.
No.
Yes, they
no.
were.
Bewitched he was not an astronaut. You're
Oh,
thinking
I
of
Dream
I
of
Dream of
Jeannie.
Jeannie.
Sorry, damn it.
Was he an
man.
astronaut in I Dream of Jeannie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Him and his-
yeah. And then he had his idiot astronaut buddy. You're
Oh,
always
yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
You're right.
I love that
What
guy
was
because
that-
you're always
what-
like,
what was
you would
the-
not go
what-
astronaut
what
with
was
him.
what was his name in the movie? The guy. The
Idiot
show.
dildo.
No,
I don't know. Okay, so listen. Before we go, because we got a couple more minutes. Okay, this one is unexplainable. Okay, at Chick-fil-A in Hendersonville, North Carolina. Okay, are you ready for this? They got online and they asked for volunteers to work their drive-thru. Volunteers. Okay, not paid people, volunteers. Okay, now they would not get paid in money. These volunteers, they would get paid in sandwiches. I'm not fucking with you. They did this. Okay, so if you went to the Chick-fil-A in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and you went through the drive-thru, you would get waited on by a person who was a volunteer getting paid in sandwiches. Are you ready? For every hour they worked, they got 5 sandwiches.
that's a lot of sandwich.
they're all dead now.
that's a lot of cholesterol and fat.
They got the diabetes.
They got the diabetes.
They got
foot.
the sugar foot.
sugar foot.
Well, I mean, I guess their family would be well fed for that day or that week.
But
I
I mean,
suppose. So.
here, listen. Chick-fil-A is worth $14 billion.
Yeah.
And they're asking for volunteers to work for sandwiches.
Will they take the gays?
No.
No.
Oh, you know they
I
want.
know.
That's why I don't eat. Listen.
I know.
Listen. Number one, I don't eat meat. But number two, I ate
Yeah.
at Chick-fil-A once in my life, and then I found out their politics.
Yeah.
Dude, there is nothing about Chick-fil-A that I respect in any way, shape, or form because they are so anti-LGBTQ 2+ KG, and I will not eat there.
Well,
ever.
here's the funny thing. Without even that, so a lot of these companies. So you ever go to like I was at Ace Hardware, for example. I bought something for like $15, and so you pay with your credit card, and then they say, "Would you like to round up your purchase to donate to charity?" You know, like say your purchase like 14.
Who's charity?
Listen,
What does
14.
she need the money for?
$14.56. Round it up to $15 to donate to this or donate $1. The point is, these are multi-billion-dollar corporations. You know what? You do the donating. You do the donating, not me. Walmart. But that's the new thing. So like,
I don't like that.
Yeah,
No.
you put in your credit card and
do
they
that.
want you to donate.
But here,
stuff,
let me throw one more thing at you. Okay, so this is a Chick-fil-A in Hendersonville. You ready? North Carolina.
Where's that? Is that near Charlotte?
Someone that I do not know. Now, someone we have talked about on this show many, many times worked in that exact North Carolina Chick-fil-A. Anybody want to take a guess? Hendersonville, North Carolina, and this is a guy that we have talked to. I gave it away. Who we have talked about many, many times. Johnny?
It's not the really hot guy that we just talked about who was...
Liam Hemsworth.
No, the actor. Ryan Reynolds?
No actors whatsoever. Are you ready? This is a guy who worked at this particular Chick-fil-A. It makes sense. You ready? Madison Cawthorn.
Oh, makes
Perfect,
sense. Okay, wow.
yes.
Madison
Yes.
Cawthorn.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Worked at that. That's when he could walk.
Right.
That's when he worked at that Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Is that,
Wow, I
does
did
that
not know that.
That is
Wow.
wild.
Does that blow your mind?
Interesting.
I know we have to wrap up, but I did want to bring
that's
up
okay.
one thing though. Did you guys? I didn't see the video. I imagine you might be able to find it, or maybe they hide it. But did you see potentially the Russians castrated a Ukrainian soldier?
I heard that. Yeah, there's a video of like a Russian soldier castrating a Ukrainian soldier who was a prisoner of war. I
They
didn't see
cut
the
off his balls.
with a box cutter.
What the fuck? And wait, hold on a second. And they took a video of it?
They videoed it. They put it on a Russian website, and then of course it hit all the other social media outlets. I'm sure
did
they've
they
all
not-
taken it down now, but supposedly that's and who knows, But
Dude, how gay is that?
well, it's horrible.
Why would you?
I mean,
but wait a minute. Why would you cut off a guy's balls?
to his dick to scare.
wait, they cut off.
to scare
wait,
the
isn't
Ukrainian
castrating
soldiers.
cutting off?
Well, they cut
castrating,
it. I
think
said
it's the,
castrated.
I think it's the penis. Is the penis.
Yeah, I said
They
castrated.
cut a guy's dick off.
Yeah,
What the fuck is wrong?
they
Actually,
they
some
want to scare.
some Russian soldiers got convicted in the Ukrainian court of war crimes, but
Yeah.
that's a separate incident. He got convicted of war crimes.
Okay. Listen. I hear these stories
But
about
his his dick's is still intact.
listen, I hear these stories about like kids and they commit crimes and they videotape it and then they post it.
Right.
These are adults doing that. How did they knew they were going to get busted.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They want to intimidate Ukrainian soldiers, I think, and make them.
Okay, so you know what? I just changed my mind. I'm glad we gave them $40 billion, and I hope they light the whole fucking place up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What the hell is wrong with people? That is so weird,
I know,
man.
that's pretty sick, dude.
Oh man. Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna throw this out there real quick. Last thing. Are you ready? You guys know what toxic masculinity is?
Yes.
I've heard of it, but I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Okay, so toxic masculinity refers to the notion that some people's ideas of manliness perpetuates, are you ready for this? Domination, homophobia, and aggression. And Jelly Bean Margie Green, that's what I call Marjorie Taylor Greene
I like
now.
that.
Yeah, well,
It makes her fun.
Yeah.
It kind of rhymes.
It does. We
Jelly
have,
being Marjorie Green.
yeah, we have nicknames. We have kind of like pet names, nicknames for each other. She thinks all soldiers should exhibit toxic masculinity because it'll make them better soldiers.
Yeah, I guess.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What does hating gay people?
No, I'm.
Yeah.
No.
No, but I'm saying.
I mean, those other two traits, I get it, but like, why the homophobic part?
Right.
I don't get that part.
Right. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. Listen, wouldn't
That's
you,
that's part of their. That's part of their DNA, dude.
Teddy? You were in the Air Force.
I was.
Did you toxically hate gay people?
Actually, I did.
And wanna dominate
I
people.
actually worked with a guy who was a great guy, by the way, but he was definitely homosexual.
Not that there's anything wrong.
Nothing
with
wrong with that whatsoever. He was a great guy. In fact, I remember. I'm not going to say his name, but I actually remember his whole name, his first and last
Do
name.
not
And I'm
remember
gonna-
his
not-
whole
not-
first
not
and
gonna
last
mention
name.
it, but he was an awesome dude, and wishing the best for him. But yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that.
I
I don't get it.
understand
I
that
don't
It
get it.
doesn't
concept.
hurt you.
Right. I don't understand that concept. Like, listen,
Didn't bother me at all.
I would love, I mean, if you're a soldier, you have to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Of course you do, right? But you don't want to be like insanely,
No.
idiotically aggressive, and you don't want to.
Well,
I
it's-
don't
it's-
even
it's-
understand
well,
the hating
it's-
gay
it's-
people
it's-
part.
It's controlled aggression, number one. But
Right.
I mean,
It
but-
has to be controlled
but-
aggression.
But the homophobia aspect of being a soldier has nothing to do with your ability to wage war. That's why it doesn't make any
Right.
sense.
And there are rules.
There's nothing to
even,
do with it.
even in warfare, right? There are rules. Geneva Convention, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like you can't just go around just
Cutting guys' dicks off.
Yeah.
That is so fucked up. But listen, so Marjorie Taylor Greene, she had her podcast. She has a podcast.
Oh
I
my
heard.
God.
I heard.
Yeah. So I told Teddy that I listened to this podcast, right? I had to listen to this podcast.
I don't
right?
know if I could.
So wait a minute. It's exactly like our podcast. Listen, the only difference is the overwhelming racism, sexism, homophobia, and distorting the truth. That's it. Besides that, it's
No
exactly
facts.
like
So,
ours.
so it's the ravings of a lunatic.
Dude, it was so bizarre. because she has on a guest, right, who agrees with her for everything.
Of course, that's why he's the guest, or she's the guest.
And she's laughing and joking. The first thing she says is that she's against. She doesn't understand why people want to have electric cars, and I'm just like, what? I don't understand that. Then she immediately rails against vegetarians, and I'm just like, what? Why do you care? Why do you care?
What's the correlation?
Right. What is exactly? What is the correlation? And then she's just bullshitting with a guy who agrees with everything. I was like, oh man,
They just preach hate, and it riles people up, and it gets a rise out of people.
Well, like I said, we could start a website or podcast tomorrow that specifically focuses on riling people up. But I mean, what's the value of that?
Wait, aren't we riling people up right now, Teddy?
Well, I mean, but in a good way.
No,
but
the Democrats never get riled up too much.
Teddy, hold on. I'm pretty sure at this point right now, Ryan Reynolds, if he's listening to this, is really riled up.
Or he's very bedazzled.
You know who's riling people up is Jon Stewart. That guy's getting crazy, man. I like it, but.
Yeah.
Oh, the comic Jon Stewart. This guy was his own talk. He's like the Trevor Noah.
He went on Fox News and was trolling them.
Talk show. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked him when he did the Daily Show. I really did.
Yeah,
and
I've
read both of his books. Actually, I listened. He actually narrated both of his books.
Yeah.
Something about the Earth, and then there was another one. Some of the best. Listen to me. Some of the best stuff I have ever heard in my life.
He's pretty moderate. Actually, I guess he's actually kind of going against, even though he's very liberal himself. I guess he's kind of like railing against the Democrats because they're just too out there right now.
Well, he's doing a huge thing for the veterans because they're just not supporting.
Yeah, I think
veterans,
like this burn pit, burn pit legislation. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I've always liked everything he's done.
Yeah,
and I've been really impressed.
He seems like a reasonable guy.
He does seem very
whether you
reasonable.
agree with the politics or not.
He does, and that's the thing. So somebody's giving me some shit about you're like, oh man, your show is like so anti-Republican.
We're not anti anything,
right?
We're not
right.
Anything.
And I'm like, no, not at all. Listen. This is what our show is about. I just want people who are real and want to help. If you're not doing that, I'm not interested in you in any way, shape, or form. I don't give a shit if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
Just get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
I was going to try and bring it up earlier, and we never got around to it. But because I know we do rail on Trump and whatever, but like Biden, and I don't have a fundamental problem with him, but I am starting to feel a little bit like where are you delivering things? Like, for instance, those girls raised like $1 million to improve abortion access off of the Matt Gaetz speech.
Yes.
Where's that from Biden talked about federal lands, Indian reservations, things like that. Where is the stuff that's happening? Just make it happen, dude. Make it happen.
The problem with politicians in general, so whether it's Biden or whoever it is, they talk a lot, but they don't actually do anything.
Yeah.
Like committees, hearings, like I told you before, a lot of hearings about blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, how does that help anybody?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We blame you. We've concluded after 1,000 hours of hearings, you're to blame. Okay, great. How does that help the American people?
Right. What are you doing to fix it?
How does that help the people of Delaware? Because Biden, he's a senator from Delaware. He's been a senator from Delaware for the last 50 years. Let me ask you this: are the people of Delaware right now? Is their paycheck gone up? Has their taxes gone down from Biden being in politics? And the answer is no. You know who's benefited from that? Biden, his family, his friends. Yeah. That's the only people who have ever benefited from Biden being in politics. And you could extrapolate it to any politician.
Hunter, yeah.
Hunter, he's doing really well. His artwork, he's like Pablo fucking Picasso.
Listen,
I said the F word again. Sure.
Listen. The reality of it is this: if in 2024, the choices are Biden or Trump, then you have to pick somebody else.
Yeah.
Here's what you have to do. Don't just here's what I would tell everybody: just don't vote. Don't
vote.
Don't
Zero
vote.
vote.
Zero vote. Just say you know what? This is unacceptable.
I don't want an old white man.
Again, it's the American people.
I don't want those two. I don't want either one of those two.
Yeah. That's your. Obviously, they're not. They're the worst two options available. Whether you
the worst two options available.
Yeah. Again, so here's the funny thing: the person who's probably best qualified to be the president, the person who's the best qualified to be the president, is probably not even running.
No, he doesn't.
Not even running.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
True. Because he doesn't want to.
You know what? Actually, the best person for the job.
I know. Let's slip.
The best person for the job doesn't want the job.
Doesn't want the job.
Doesn't want the job.
Right.
That's the best person for the job.
Doesn't want the job.
That's the person we need.
That's why George Washington stepped down. They wanted to make him king, and he's like, dude, we just fought a war, so I wouldn't be king.
Trust me. Yeah. When somebody goes out of their way to say, I want to be the president, that's the worst person to be the president right there. When they say, I need to be your president, That's the worst person
Wait,
right there.
So do you want to be president?
No.
Okay.
Ted, yes,
I
he
don't.
does.
You're in then.
Yes, he
But
does.
if I was,
Okay, so Teddy, we got to wrap this up, and here's something that happened last week. Okay, we got to wrap this up. So last week, after we were done, I said, "Oh, we got to get our last words in and everything," and I skipped you. And my sister, after we were all done, my sister's like, when you got everybody's last word, you got my last word, and he goes, and then you skipped Ted, and you went to John, you got his last word, and he goes, you got to say something. She goes, does Ted mind that you totally skipped him? And I said, well, here's two things that I know. Two things happened. Number one, Ted doesn't know I skipped him, and I don't know I skipped him. So I didn't even realize it. So Teddy,
and I don't know that either.
so Teddy, I'm going to give you the last word, last word today. What do you want to leave everybody with today? Bammo, go for it. All right, Johnny, your turn. I fuck with you. Teddy, go for it.
I don't want to be the president.
You're in.
Yeah.
He winked.
He winked again. He winked again. Oh, my God.
He's going to be like...
Not because I want it, because for me
Ted,
personally,
you are getting tackled. You are getting tackled by one of
the right way.
Yeah, and she's. Listen, if the chick who I can't say it. I was gonna say if the chick who tackles you has an erection, we're all fucked. But
that would be kind of hot.
Teddy, I'm gonna make this. Listen, when she comes on the show, I don't care if it's in this basement or if we are in some fantastic new place and we're recording live in front of it. You are getting tackled, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to catch a ball, and I want
Yes.
to try to run about 5 yards.
Like Danny
I'm
Bonaducci
doing
in the
best I
Partridge
can.
Family fight.
I love the way you're doing that. Like Teddy's doing, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and that. She's gonna light your ass up.
Come and get it,
Yeah, for sure.
girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, man. You know what, Teddy? I'm gonna play these specific parts for whoever comes on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell her to fuck you up when she tackles you, man. I cannot wait. All right, Johnny.
I mean, girls can't hit very hard, can they, Ted?
Oh, they can. They can.
He was hoping you were going to say no.
No, they can hit hard.
Okay.
All right, Johnny, last words.
I got nothing. I do want to be president? Question mark.
Wait a minute. You want to be president?
I'm just saying that because I shouldn't be. Then I won't be president, right?
Okay.
I don't know how to play it.
Yeah, no, Teddy already did that.
All
You
right.
didn't wink. You didn't weirdly wink at me. Okay, so here's my last words. I hope within the next, I don't know, I'm going to say 2 months because I know how things will drag on. I hope in the next 2 months, Alex Jones is completely and totally bankrupt and has nowhere of any kind to say anything ever out loud on any kind of platform. And I honestly hope that some people just find him and throw him in a bag and toss him in a lake, man.
I like it.
Because that's where he belongs. All right? Okay, thanks everybody for listening. Not you, Alex Jones, in case you are listening. We had a great time. Listen, things are really changing. Everything's kind of moving around. We don't even know where we're going to be next week. But here's what I will tell you. It will be awesome. And I hope everybody's listening. Have a great week, and we will see you next time.